If there's one thing that most of you folks and most of us folks in the room have in common, is that you run a business. What do? I own a business. I run a business. That's not true of every single one of you here this morning, but that's true of most of you. That's what's common among most of you. I'm responsible for a very, very small ministry. I technically speak, it's not mine, it's God's. He loaned it to me. But I run a business, I'm responsible for it. And that's true of a lot of you sitting out in front of me. And you've been doing it, some of you for a long time, some of you for a short time. But you've been experienced in it enough to know that running a business is let's open the floor for comments. You've run a business. I don't want to hear a sermon. I don't want to hear a paragraph. I want to hear one word. Somebody share with me. You know, I run a business. I'll tell you something. It's really a what? A joy. A joy. It's a joy. How many of you would agree with that? Nobody. Oh, no. There's some. 6, yeah, okay. It's a joy. That's good. And there's no wrong answer here. Audience participation. Running a business is a... What was that back? What did I hear back here? Say it again. It's a challenge. A challenge. Running a business is a challenge. It's a joy. It's a challenge. What else is it? It's a burden. Well, now you're really being honest. It's a joy. It's a challenge. It's a burden. Anybody else? What? A trial? Struggle. A struggle. You're agreeing with these words? What is it, sir? Joe. Man from Philadelphia. Now, him I understand. It's... I heard you, Joe. You said it 3 times. I heard you the first time. Usher. Don't trust those people from Philadelphia. Now I forgot what you said. What'd you say, Joe? It's an adventure. You know, I kidded this gentleman over here, but there's a lot of good words. I want to talk about this. It's a number. It's all those things. It is a joy. It is a joy. With me and my feelings in running something, I have my ups and my downs, and it's a struggle sometimes. And it is an adventure, and it is a joy. There are times where, all right. I want to talk to you this morning about a challenge. The dictionary definition says that is this. A challenge is this. It's to be presented with difficulties. It's something that's by its very nature serves as a battle or a contest. That's what a lot of you folks do. I run something. Hey, how's it going? Man, that's a challenge. By its very nature, it's a battle. It's a contest. It's a struggle. That's true, isn't it? And I want to talk to you about challenge today. By the way, you know what most of you in the room have done? You've added to the challenge. You weren't happy just to be running something that was a challenge or a struggle or an adventure. You added something on top of that. You became associated with, a member or from distance, with something called Christ at Work, Fellowship of Companies for Christ, which adds more challenge, more struggle, more adventure to what it is you're trying to do. Because you have, I hope, bought into this. The purpose of this organization is to encourage and equip leaders to operate their businesses and conduct their personal lives according to biblical principles. So you not only have the problem, the burden, the struggle, the challenge of running a company and making it work and surviving, on top of that, you said, hey, I know, besides that, besides just trying to survive here, I have an idea. We could use this as a platform for ministry. So you know what you did? You created more problems. Isn't that true? So not just struggling to live and survive. Besides, we got to figure out some way also to glorify God through this thing and impact lives. Now, why did you buy into that? You got enough struggles, enough challenge without that. It's because you believe these things. Therefore, whether you eat or drink, whatever you do it all to the glory of God. I believe that. That's why I buy into what FCCI is all about. That's why I want to see this organization grow. That's why I want to see small groups. That's why I want to see area groups, etc., etc. Only one life 'twill soon be past. Only what's done for Christ will last. You know the truth of that, and that's why you say, I want to be a part of what this organization's all about, because that's true. You can build your business as big as you ever dreamt, bigger than what you ever dreamt, and in the end, if it's not done for the glory of God, you've wasted your time. And you know that. That's why you're part of this. If anyone speaks, he should do it as one speaking the very words of God. If anyone serves, he should do it with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised. You say, I believe that, I buy into that. Through Jesus Christ, to him be the glory and the power forever and ever. And you are willing to take on this challenge, this struggle, this adventure, and add to it the whole business of making it a ministry because you believe that. The quality of one's life is not determined by who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Would you underscore that, please? The quality of your life has nothing to do with who you are, what you do, and where you do it. It's determined by how you do it, and that's what you're concerned about. How you run your company. One day, you'll stand before God. I guarantee you the how subject will come up. He's not going to be impressed necessarily. By the way, who you are is important because he created you. What you do is important. Why? Because he hopefully has led you where you are. But what he's going to be most concerned about is your heart. The only way to determine your heart is how you do something. I can tell you who I am and what I do. It tells you absolutely nothing about me. You watch how I do it, and it's a big difference. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father through him. You subscribe to that as well. Whatever you do without God, you will either fail miserably or you'll succeed more miserably. Isn't that true? See, you know what you've done? You've said, I believe that. I believe that. And you know, that's why I have taken on the added challenge of trying to run my company, conduct my business along a line to glorify God and impact others, and be a part of an organization like this, and plug into an organization like this, because I believe those things. There's something bigger than simply the bottom line. There's something bigger than simply making a living through my company. And there's a challenge here. And most of you in this room have something in common, and what is that? That you're part of that. You've taken on that challenge to run a business and to make it happen, but also do it to the glory of God. Now, you know what I want to do this morning? I want to share 3 thoughts with you. I said to myself, where can I go? I'm a biblicist. Where can I, this is a Christian organization, where can I go in the Bible and talk about a challenge? Well, that wasn't hard to find places. I want to share one with you. I want to remind you of a challenge in the Bible where a man found himself in the middle of a challenge, a struggle, an adventure. What am I going to do now? And I want to pull 3 things from this very, very popular story with you. 3 things about what went through this man's mind, what this man did in the midst of a challenge. Some of you in the room are in the midst of larger challenges than others. There are some of you in survival mode. How's everything at the company? We're being challenged. We're involved in a struggle. I want you to see 3 things this man did in the midst of a challenge in a very, very popular Old Testament story. Learning from challenges. 1 Kings chapter 18, what happened when a man by the name Elijah challenged a bunch of false prophets? You know the story real well. It happened on Mount Carmel. Elijah's a prophet of God. It's in 1 Kings chapter 18. I'm going to show you some verses up here. Elijah's a prophet of God. He had the misfortune of being a prophet of God during a rocky administration, because the king could have cared less about God. His name was Ahab, and he had a wonderful, encouraging wife named Jezebel. And Elijah was always in the face of Ahab. Why? Ahab led the people away from God. Elijah was a voice that said, you need to bring the people back to God. And they were constantly like this. And Ahab did the things he did frequently as a result of the encouragement from his wife, Jezebel.